Hello once again, year 4. I hope you're well. Now today we are once again going to be drawing our focus towards time. And this time we're going to be looking at years, months, weeks and days. So to start you off and to test you on your knowledge from year 3, I've left a few questions on the slide for you. So can you tell me, to begin with, how many hours there are in a day, how many days there are in a week, how many months there are in a year, how many days there are in a year, and how many weeks there are in a year? You may not be able to get all of them, and that's absolutely okay if you don't. We'll run through the answers shortly, but make sure that you give them a go. So how did you do? Let's run through the answers then quickly. So there are 24 hours in a day. There are 7 days in a week, and we hopefully all know that one. There are 12 months in the year. Just think the last month of the year is December, and that is the 12th month. There are 365 days in a year, and there are 52 weeks in a year. So some of you might be wondering why there were no questions about months. For instance, how many days there are in a month or how many weeks there are in a month. And that's because months are kind of special in their own unique way. And if you look at this calendar here, you'll see why. Because some months, like January, March and May, last for 31 days, while others, such as April and September, only last for 30. And then we have February. As you can see, this year it's lasted 29 days. But in years gone by, in the years 2019, 18 and 2017, you'll see that February only lasted 28 days. And that's because it actually takes the Earth 365.25 days to do one lap of our sun. Now we don't count 0.25 as a day, so once every 4 years we add an extra day to our calendar to make sure it is in sync with how our Earth is moving around the sun. So be very careful with leap years, they do appear once every 4 years. Now, I'm going to test you with a few quick questions. Have a look at them on the slide and see how many of them you can answer. Use the calendar to help you if you want, but try and give it a go independently. Have a look at the answers as they are on screen now for you. I'll just focus on a couple that you may find a little bit interesting. How many months have 28 days? Well, technically all of them do because they have at least 28 days in them. But if you put February, I'll accept that. And the other one is how many days are there in 1 year? If some of you put 365.25, that's okay. But typically, it's best to just write down 365. If the question was asking you how many days there were in a leap year, then you would want to write 366 to account for the extra one added to that. Now, here is another question. It asks you to click the true statement. Have a look through the question, give it a go, and we'll run through how we'd answer that in just a few seconds. So to answer a question like this, you have to break it down and really figure out if each statement is true by understanding what the makeup of each statement is. So the first one asks you, is it true that there are 17 days in 3 weeks? Well, I know that 1 week equals 7 days, but this question's asking us how many days are in 3 weeks. So we need to make 1 week 3 times larger, but we also need to do the same to 7, as there are 7 days in 1 week, and 7 multiplied by 3 is 21. Therefore, proving the statement that there's 17 days in 3 weeks as incorrect. The next statement says that there are 24 months in 2 years. Now I know that 1 year lasts for 12 months, and 2 years is double the value of 1 year. So if I've doubled my years, I also need to double my months. 12 times 2 is 24. So far proving that that statement is correct, but it's still important to check all 3. And our last statement says that there are 50 weeks in 1 year. Now, looking back at what we just worked on previously, the slide said that there were 104 weeks in 2 years. Now, 2 years is double the value of years we're looking for. So to find 1 year, we need to divide it by 2 or half it to make 1. But we also need to make sure that we're doing the same with our weeks. So we would need to divide 104 by 2 to find out the value of how many weeks there are in a year. And it turns out that there are actually 52 weeks in a year, proving that statement to be false. So the middle statement is correct, that there are 24 months in 2 years. Now, there'll be a series of questions like this for you to go through today. Work through them, break them down, use the calendar if you need to help you out, but really get to grips with the facts that make up months, days, and years, and give it your best shot.